We have another Bretonnian replay from Alea Jagd Est and ODM's Tzeentch, Bretonnia versus Tzeentch. Bretonnia, as I said in the previous video, though I don't know what order I'm going to release these in, so it might be the first time you're hearing it. Bretonnia has been rising in priority with the buffs they got, mostly to their Grail Guardians. We've been seeing a lot of them. Only one Grail Guardian in this build. A little bit of a shame, but I guess against the Tzeentch, Blue Fire could just do so much damage to Cav that maybe it's not worth it taking a bunch of heavy Cav. For the Bretonnian build, we do have Knights Errant, Knights of the Realm, and Grail Guardians. Backline of Peasant Bowmen with Poisoned Arrows, Men-at-Arms, and Battle Pilgrims. Oh yeah, Battle Pilgrims also got a pretty good buff. Across the middle, we have Felix and the Fae on foot with Henry Le Massif on his mount in the sky, and Peasant mobs across the front line with a Grail Relique to keep everybody in the fight, granting ITP and 12 leadership to everyone around it. Those have also been making a pretty big comeback in the meta. On the other side, for Tzeentch and Tzeentch, we have two Marauder Horsemen of Tzeentch, a Soul Grinder of Tzeentch, Kairos Fate Weaver. This is very, very standard, and as much as I hate it, I hate from the depths of my soul Kairos Fate Weaver. He is the strongest Tzeentch Lord, and you probably should be taking him. Regrowth is absolutely ridiculous. Kairos is absolutely ridiculous. His model is broken and is very hard to lock down in melee. Even with his absolutely pathetic 20 melee defense, he takes like no damage in melee. He is just the most superior Tzeentch Lord. And if you're not taking him, you're trolling. As much as I hate to say that, because I hate that guy. Anyway. Rest of the build, Marauders of Tzeentch, some with Spears, some without, 4 Blue Horrors, 2 Screamers, and the Severed Claw, Aspiring Champion ROR. Fair enough. Kairos is going to burn a Gaze of Fate just to lock Henry in place, but is there punishment nearby to make this worth it? He is unshielded. Looks like Blue Fire is going to weaken him, make him weaker to fire damage, and lower his armor, allowing the Blue Horrors and the Skirmish Cap to do a little bit more damage over there. Ow, plus the Soul Grinder. That's a lot of sniping. Meanwhile, the Bretonnians are moving up, getting here as quickly as possible while taking a little bit of poke. And the Soul Grinder has already burned through about a quarter of its ammunition, which I'm sure Bretonnia is happy about. We have left some Knights of the Realm in the dust. Hopefully those are remembered soon. And the frontline fight begins in earnest. Marauders get charged by Knights of the Realm. Now, unfortunately, Cav charges are not working particularly well versus infantry. And most of these Cav just get caught up in their own peasant mobs, and now they are getting shot to death. Hopefully they realize this and back off soon. Knights Errant running away. They do take a nasty Blue Fire on the side, and yeah, that spell is still really strong. Wait, the same spell since like the start of the... Yep, that one. But haven't they? Nope. They have not. And it still surprises me every time. Alright, Knights Errant plowing into the Blue Horrors of Tzeentch in the backfield, getting a lot of damage. Are they in Lance formation? No. Alright. Well, then good for them. Good for them. Screamers get a countercharge onto the front line. Knights of the Realm are left there while the Grail Guardians try and get away, taking a bunch of damage from Blue Fire on the back. Felix is in the middle, just fighting on his own, and Henry Le Massif taking a ton of damage from Kairos and the Soul Grinder. He's now going to dive the Soul Grinder on his own, and Kairos does have very little support in the area to stop him from doing so. Maybe these Screamers could. The Marauder Horsemen are going to get involved now, but they're pretty meh melee combatants. We'll see how that pans out. Screamers do get caught up by these Knights of the Realm and Grail Guardians working together. Those fragile little guys will probably be dead soon as the Blue Horrors try and get a little bit more fire into them there. Marauder Horsemen being used as dog units. I wouldn't be shocked if these other Screamers came down as well, just to really take out these Peasant Bowmen. It looks like the Knights of the Realm are going to come back and countercharge the Marauder Horsemen, make them at least pay for killing the peasants. In the backfield, Henry did get an overcasted regrowth, and he now starts to run away because the Severed Claw were coming back. He didn't even get through the Soul Grinder's shields, which is a different problem that I definitely don't have any feelings about, because Soul Grinders definitely take damage in melee, and it's a normal thing. And they don't beat Hell Pit Abominations. They don't! They don't beat Hell Pit Abominations 1v1! Because of their janky-ass animations, I don't hate you! Regardless, Henry Le Massif dives onto some Blue Horrors who are also being chased by Battle Pilgrims as a Soul Grinder shoots him in the face. Quick Blue Fire of Tzeentch going down the lines of these Cav. The damage is a little spread out, but it was pretty good damage. Kairos from just casting Blue Fires has gotten 1200 value, which is good for him. And I'm getting some text messages. Hopefully those are important, because I'm going to finish this replay, gosh darn it. Henry gets netted in place by Gaze of Fate. Bolt of Change hits him in the back of the head, and the Soul Grinder plus Screamers plus these Marauder Horsemen are going to try and finish him off while the Enchantress and Felix bail him out. Speaking of bailing out, the archers in the back were saved from that previous attempt by the Marauder Horsemen. Knights keeping them safe, and they are rewarded in kind with a whole bunch of poison arrows, supporting their endeavors. Knights of the Realm, and Grail Guardians running back here, trying to keep everybody at bay, and the Enchantress and Felix did, in fact, get Henry to safety. The Bretonnian front line is slowly winning. They are pushing up. The Bretonnian single entities, while rather damaged, have been using their own healing to good effect, and the Bretonnian cavalry has survived the onslaught of blue fires. For now. For now. Is a pretty key word there. So where does that leave us? Well, with Tzeentch, they have the Severed Claw, a full health Soul Grinder, one Screamer left, some Cav to chase anything that routes, and Kairos himself is completely full HP. Like, literally fuller than full. He has 8,000 HP plus some shields. And Bretonnia does have a lot of routing things that these Marauder Horsemen can chase off. Balance power is slightly Bretonnian favored. I would go a little further than that. I feel like Bretonnia is in a quite good spot here. But we'll see. I have lost several games with just Kairos and an out-of-ammo Soul Grinder killing everything on the map because of reasons. Henry is back. I would wonder if these Marauder Horsemen of Tzeentch just come over and scare him off by throwing little javelins at his face. Looks like for now they are using ammo on peasant mobs, which is definitely not what they want to be doing. And archers are trying to harass Kairos and keep him honest, but his shields are very powerful. And he has physical resist. 20% physical resist at all times. He can even pop 44% ward save if he wants to, so he really doesn't care about these archers too much. Another blue fire tries to hit the Knights of the Realm, though this one does mostly whiff and hits a peasant mob instead. Enchantress and Felix. The regrowth. Kairos casts the regrowth onto the Severed Claw, getting their health back up, forcing the Fae and Felix to continue fighting them. In the backfield, Soul Grinder of Tzeentch fights Knights of the Realm and Grail Guardians. They are almost getting through its shield. They are now doing a bit of damage to it, but these rear charges might cause them to terror out off the field here soon. Do you guys have ITP all the time? No, you don't have ITP all the time. Oh yeah, you do. There it is. So the Grail Guardians won't terror out. They are getting the favor of the Fae and an overcasted Earthblood to try and keep them in the fight. 83 melee attacks as they try to get through Kairos, who has 20 melee defense, but he will take very little damage because his model is broken. Look at all that damage he's not taking. Dumbass bitch. Hate Kairos' broken model. Fucking hate it. Alright, Soul Grinder Tzeentch trying to power its way through some Battle Pilgrims and really does, scattering them across the hillside as it got a little bit of a charge. Screamers jump back in, but I think they're targeting the Grail Guardians? No, they're targeting the Knights of the Realm. Blue Fire's going for the little Grail Guardians. Hits a good number of them, knocking out models. Looks like one model died. Henry's back in the sky. I think if that Soul Grinder shoots him one time, he's either dead or shattered. We will see. Marauder Horsemen of the backfield have routed off more Peasant Bowmen. The other Peasant Bowmen are trying to support Felix for now, and Screamers continue to fight the beleaguered Grail Guardians. Kairos terror routes off some Peasant Bowmen. We really have a fight all over the gosh dang place. Henry's charge of the Screamers will officially disintegrate them off, sparing the Grail Guardians any further pain. The Fae Enchantress tries to chase the Soul Grinder, who is kiting her out rather effectively. Another regrowth onto the Severed Claw. And this guy has cast 400 million blue fires and 2 regrowths that I've seen. I don't know how he gets so much Winds of Magic. Like, maybe he's just been spamming tier 1 army abilities, though I saw the tier 2 Bolt of Change hit Henry at one point. Maybe he's just been spamming Arcane Surge. Oh, that fucker! Why didn't I know this? I feel like I should have known this. He has life leeching. That bitch! That explains how he's always casting 1 million blue fires whenever I fight him. Of course you have life leeching. Of course you do. Of course you get more Winds of Magic the more you cast spells, you asshole. I hate you, Kairos. I hate you so much. Your entire premise is that you're an amazing caster, but you suck at melee. Oh, you're so terrible. So they gave you armor piercing, 400 weapon strength. Oh, but I have 20 melee defense, human boy. You have 20% physical resist, 44% damage resist, and your model doesn't work, so you don't even take damage when you land. I hate you. You're a fuck. You have no weaknesses. You're just broken. You're broken and stupid. I hate you so much. Soul Grinder shooting at the Fae. That's pretty fun. What is she gonna do? Regrowth herself? Yeah, she's throwing a regrowth down. Heals on heals on heals. Knights of the Realm gonna charge the Soul Grinder of Tzeentch. That also definitely has a model that works and definitely takes damage from things surrounding it. Henry is trying to stay in this game, trying to stay alive as Kairos is chasing him down. One rear attack, and Henry at legitimately 1 HP charges into the Soul Grinder at 1 HP. What the fuck, Henry? He tries to get a few hits off. He dodges a couple blows from the Soul Grinder. He's still chilling at 1 HP. One HP. Gets a little bit of an Earthblood and decides now is the time to leave after fighting with 1 HP forever. Oh, leadership, you're a funny thing in game 3. You're a funny thing. Knights of the Realm, and Grail Guardians all trying to fight Kairos. Favor of the Fae is on the Grail Guardians, giving them a ton of melee attack. They're surrounding Kairos. Notice how little his shields are going down. Every time he gets hit, they get chunked down, but he's not getting hit nearly as much as he should for someone with 84 melee attack getting a downhill charge on him. But his model is kind of broken, so not a lot of units can make contact with him. Bounce power is still about dead even as the Severed Claw are almost heal capped and still fighting Felix and all of these peasants. I think that bounce power is full of shit. It really overvalues Cairo, who throws another regrowth. How much Winds of Magic do you have? Another regrowth onto the Soul Grinder. That's 3 regrowths and 20 million bajillion blue fires. All right, cool. He routed off some Knights of the Realm. Grail Guardians ran away just because they didn't want to take damage. And these other Knights of the Realm are running away. Soul Grinder of Tzeentch is healing up slowly. Kairos is back in the sky. Henry is back at 300 HP. He seems to just always go back to 300 HP somehow. Even when Kairos got him to literally 1, he still went right back to 300. I know he was healed. It's just funny that every time I look at him, he's at roughly that much. Severed Claw trying to bail out the Soul Grinder as a downhill charge from the Marauder Horseman. Deal counter damage. What the hell was that? Another Earthblood is healing up Henry even more. But a blue fire from Kairos. Because of course you still have Winds of Magic, you fuck! Just hits him right back down to 147. He charges in for a brief second. The charge keeps him in the game for a second. But that's it. That's it. He's shattered. He's done. He's donezo. Severed Claw continuing to fight. Grail Guardians continuing to fight. Felix chilling, vibing, doing his best. Everything else is peasants. Actually, Battle Pilgrims have pretty decent leaderships. Those might not be so easy to cycle route off for the old Fate Weaver. Things are getting scary, though. Things are getting legitimately scary. There have been so many late games that have been won by a Soul Grinder and Kairos just cycle charging stuff into terror routes, and they don't take any damage because 1 shields and 2 broken bottles. Soul Grinder gets charged by Knights. Taking a bit of damage as it just roasts them into the dirt, and the rear charge from Marauder Horseman will finish them off. Goodbye, Knights. Fae Enchantress and Felix doing their best to fight the Severed Claw. Kairos is sitting in the middle of Knights of the Realm. Anti-large, 33 melee attack, trying to get through his shields as archers even poke at him. Grail Guardians thinking about joining as well, but Oracle of Eternity making him 65% resistant to physical damage. Yay, and another regrowth! How do you still have Winds of Magic, you broken piece of shit? Fuck you! How do you still have it? Alright, Fae Enchantress gets hit in the face by a Soul Grinder. She's running in. She's got Helping Hand of Felix, giving her 40% damage resistance, which is actually a thing I keep forgetting that Felix even has. The Grail Guardians, 84 melee attack, trying to get through the Soul Grinder's shields. They barely can even damage the shields at all because the Soul Grinder's hitbox is working so correctly. It's working so well, you guys. Marauder Horseman is each running away, but they have shields. You can't get through the shields. They're going to charge the Peasant Bowman with the Grail Guardians on their ass. The Soul Grinder's charging in to try and help out. Kairos is just wandering around trying to get his shields back so he can shoot another blue fire. Because of course he still has Winds of Magic over this game. Grail Guardians get rear charged with the favor of the Fae. They are 84 melee attack, 61 melee defense. chilling, vibing. They're trying to kill off these Marauder Horsemen of Tzeentch. They're trying to do anything as Felix and the Fae are stuck fighting Kairos, who does not have shields right now. Felix and the Fae getting good shots in, actually, for once. As Kairos is going to walk away after taking a nasty bit of punishment there. The Fae does do magic damage, so his physical resist doesn't work versus her, and his Oracle of Eternity or whatever, this thing. Yeah, Oracle of Eternity wasn't up. Oh, the Fae's back on him. The Fae's getting some shots, but the Soul Grinder gets a rear charge in. Massive shot onto the Knights of the Realm is going to tear out them and these Grail Guardians. The buffed boys. The patch coming in clutch with Battle Pilgrims and Grail Guardians, the two buffed units being the last things the Fae and Felix can really count on. 4 Aspiring Champions, the Severed Claw charging back in. Their health is so low, the Fae's Mortis Engine might just take them out outright. Though they have very low model count, so actually the Mortis Engine won't do that much damage. He has the shooting icon. Oh my god, he has another fucking blue fire. But it mostly friendly fires his own Marauders. Luckily for Bretonnia, and Alea did dodge nicely with those Grail Guardians. Now the balance of power is more in Bretonia's favor. Kairos is throwing down a bolt to change onto Felix, but with no net, he might dodge it. Nope, okay. His heal cap's within sight. The Fae's heal cap is within sight. Grail Guardians fighting to the absolute last as a Soul Grinder solos out the Fae Enchantress, getting a big shot onto her. Kairos wandering through here. And Knights of the Realm rejoining for one last Valiant charge. Never mind, one last Valiant terror out. There's a tier 3 army ability of Tzeentch. So he has saved it up enough army ability to use a tier 3 and 2 tier 2s. He hasn't even been spamming Power Surge, and he has this much Wind of Magic because just reasons, I guess. Battle Pilgrim's getting nuked off. Another Battle Pilgrim actually did dodge it. The Grail Guardians are still here, though. They're chilling, they're vibing. Helping Hand is giving Fae Enchantress a ton of melee attack and damage resist. But these Grail Guardians, they're being hesitant, they're being cautious. They don't want to get caught by the Marauder Horsemen of Tzeentch, it looks like, and they are going to try to opt out of the fight. I wonder if the Fae is really close to a heal and he just wants to save him for a heal or something. But they do end up getting side charged by those Marauders. They take 0 damage from it, but their leadership does go negative for a second. Then they come back, they rally, and Kairos taking a lot of damage. Arcane Surge, the tier 1 army ability of Tzeentch, is finally cast on him to give him some more Winds of Magic and such. Grail Guardians, 8 models left. Marauder Horsemen surrounding this formation. Battle Pilgrims getting a little testy. 2 units of them are about to bake, yes. If only, but no, they're going to break. Soul Grinder charges in, Kairos charges in. We do get a terror out from one of the Battle Pilgrims. The Grail Guardians themselves are also going to rout. Bretonnia is falling apart. One of their units even shattered. The full health battle, not the full health, sorry. The half health Battle Pilgrim, the healthy one, is also terror outing, so Bretonnia is left alone. Felix and the Fae Enchantress are all that is left. As the Marauder Horsemen are chasing the Grail Guardians, now they're just gonna charge Felix and get him out of here, keep him on the back foot as Kairos and the Soul Grinder attempt to rout those Knights of the Realm, maybe even gonna shatter them after all this time. They've routed so many times, yeah, they just shatter. Another blue fire, because of course. Grail Guardians and Battle Pilgrims taking some shots, but also the Marauder Horsemen took a good bit of fire from that, so they didn't enjoy it whatsoever. The Fae's Mortis Engine effect routes off the Marauder Horsemen of Tzeentch. The Soul Grinder is back in the fight, and the Fae and Felix are fighting, but a huge charge in from Kairos Fate Weaver knocks the Fae down very low. She even gets terror out of it, but the Grail Guardians are back in it, baby. They are continuing this fight. And favor of the Fae is on Felix, giving Felix an impressive 90 melee attacks. More Men-at-Arms are coming. Oh, those aren't Battle Pilgrims, those are Men-at-Arms. Ew, this got a lot scarier for me all of a sudden. I thought those were Battle Pilgrims. Gotcha. The Fae is still being routed by Kairos. He can't quite hit her, and Marauder Horsemen are going to rejoin the fight, but if they get too close to the Fae, they will suffer that Mortis Engine type effect. Grail Guardians hanging on with 7 models left, no healing. They are fighting to the last man. After those buffs, they're feeling kind of silly, you guys. Kind of silly. But I guess it makes sense for these super elite Grail Guardians of Bretonnia to fight to the end. Kairos lands in front of Felix. Now, Kairos can get hit by foot characters rather easily, so Felix actually doesn't have too many issues hitting him. It's mostly large things that can have issues with Kairos. And the Marauder Horsemen try chasing the Fae, but as soon as they touch her, the Mortis Engine does peel them off, and they are shattered, bringing the Fae Enchantress back. She is back. Does she have any healing for the Grail Guardians or anything whatsoever? Looks like Kairos doesn't know, and Kairos doesn't care to find out, as he and the Soul Grinder are both pathing for her immediately. Helping Hand gives her 40% damage resistance, but it's just not enough. Any damage at all will cause her to rout yet again. Kairos lands 2 big hits in a row. She's down to 16 HP. And she is getting taken off the map. And Kairos really wants to finish her off. He wants to kill her for that big leadership debuff, especially on these Grail Guardians. But he's having trouble getting through them. The Grail Guardians are blocking his path a bit. So is Felix. And the Soul Grinder is now pathing his way over to the Fae Enchantress. But should he rear charge to save Kairos? I don't know which is the right decision. Is it sniping the Lord or is it saving Kairos right now? He goes for it. He hits the Fae and he does kill her off. lowering the leadership of all of Bretonnia. The Grail Guardians down to 0 leadership. They're still poking at Kairos. They're still trying to keep him on the ground. They're just trying to keep him honest for a second. Men-at-Arms terror out again. The Soul Grinder is back in again. Rear charging Felix and getting a bit of a side shot onto the Grail Guardians, who do rout yet again. Now we're down to just Felix. Felix versus Kairos and the Soul Grinder. The balance of power shifts wildly as Felix terror routes. The Soul Grinder's coming in. He hit him in the back of the head. The Men-at-Arms are still trying to hit him. And something's coming out of the trees. It's a Battle Pilgrim. It's a late game Battle Pilgrim, everybody. As Men-at-Arms still try and catch up with the Soul Grinder that's just knocking Felix over so much that it's actually pushing him further away from them. But the Grail Guardians are back in the distance. They're coming back. Peasant mobs are, the Battle Pilgrims are coming. The Men-at-Arms are coming. And Felix is just getting slowly chased down by the Soul Grinder. Kairos does not have any Winds of Magic left. There's no way. Otherwise he would have blue fired those guys ages ago. Soul Grinder is having issues with Felix. Felix is known to have weird hit model bugs or whatever that sometimes big things can't hit him, but Soul Grinder did get a nice hit in there. Grail Guardians get the charge onto Kairos. 0 leadership all the way up to 15 for that charge bonus, 23. They're knocking him down, and Kairos all of a sudden goes negative on leadership. He's going to start demonic instability crumbling, and the Grail Guardians are just holding. They're holding and holding. They don't give a single shit. As the Soul Grinder is fighting Felix all alone, it still can't hit him. It just keeps knocking him over and over again. The balance of power shifts against the Soul Grinder. It's also going to start demonic instability crumbling. Its shields are falling apart due to it. And that is going to be it. Tzeentch will fall because Felix can get knocked over 500 million times. And I do have questions. Why? Why were the beta changes reverted that fixed this problem? It was so easy to hit foot characters. Why was the change reverted? In an absolute nail-biter of a game. Fey Enchantress, only 1,500 value. Her Mortis Engine just didn't get too much versus Tzeentch, because Tzeentch is mostly about single entity kiting stuff. Felix, 1,700 value, really getting that out of Kairos and the Soul Grinder over the course of the game. Enril Massif, only 200, despite all of his healing, all of his cycle charging and stuff. Kind of a disappointing value from him. Peasant Archers, mixed value, but overall just fine. Grail Guardians, 2,400. Knights of the Realm, mixed but good. And Knights Errant, and the Peasant's not doing so hot. For Tzeentch and Kairos, 3,300, while also heal capping the Severed Claw and the Soul Grinder. Definitely feels cool. Fuck you, Kairos. 3,400 on the Soul Grinder. 1,000 apiece for the Marauder Horsemen. Blue Horrors and Screamers, a little under their value, but they did okay. Marauders did okay, and the Severed Claw, 1,900, which is quite impressive. GG. Roar. Subscribe, yes.